Well, hello again, YouTube. It's PD Two Finger, and I just ran across this information. I thought it was worth sharing with you guys. Field trip. Experience yourself in a new way through transformative psychedelic therapies. So, this is a psychedelic therapy center located in Chicago. They've got multiple locations. You set up an appointment. Unlike traditional antidepressants, which can take 3 to 4 weeks to take effect, psychedelic assisted therapy can create meaningful change in just a few hours after your first session. Supervised by a team of seasoned, supportive psychiatrists and medical professionals, the holistic treatment serves as a catalyst that inspires the mind and body to begin a healing journey towards overcoming depression. So you go through the consultation, there's a preparation phase, then the treatment, which is where they reframe negative thought patterns and begin the process of breaking old habits after a series of psychedelic assisted therapy sessions held over several weeks. So it's ketamine. And then the integration phase, the most challenging, is following up with the psychotherapist to create a behavioral change plan that will help you adapt healthier habits for lasting change in your mood and well-being. Step 5, Beyond. Continue your journey at Healing at Home. We'll provide you tools, strategies, and online access to our team so you stay on track to experiencing a complete mental transformation. Field Trip is a one of a kind when it comes to mental health treatment. Having suffered from anxiety and depression for years, Field Trip was one of the few places that I felt truly and consistently viewed me holistically as a full person with passions, hobbies, and dreams outside of simply getting better. Everything from the staff to the decor and the treatments to the therapy created an atmosphere that was conducive to healing and rediscovering a new life in a new and positive way. Very, very interesting stuff. I went on to just Google Field Trip Psychedelic. There's an app. Field Trip wants you to try this app, which it looked like a cartoon, like trippy visual. You can put some pleasant music on. Now, Ketamine Clinic opens up psychedelic therapies for mental health. There's a good amount of videos here. The future of psychedelic therapy was the one that I actually watched. And that's a 15-minute interview with the guy, Jay Martin, CEO of Cambridge House, and Ronan Levy. Now, they were talking about how the really successful cannabis companies are the ones who are not just focusing on cannabis. They've got their fingers on all these other pies, and one of them, I mean, the what's on the horizon, it looks like it's going to be ketamine treatment for depression. Number 2, psychedelic therapy for people who have been through traumatic experiences, people with childhood trauma, PTSD, stuff like that. And then I think also we're going to see MDMA therapy or ecstasy therapy, and that would be the same thing, PTSD and couples therapy. So the video that I watched, they were talking about that's what they're working on. These companies that have this surplus of cash right now because of the cannabis boom, they're investing that money into psilocybin research, into setting up systems to grow it, to harvest it, to distribute it, and to properly, to me, my short-sighted thing of it is that you create like a really posh-looking kind of hotel room. You bring the guy in. You got a couple dudes in the hall, big guys that you can call. And then there's maybe a nurse, an attractive young pair of people, a guy and a girl in there with you. and you give the mushrooms, and you've got a shot of Valium. You got some Thorazine. You got some kind of downer in case the guy goes headlong into a bummer, and you can shoot this guy. You can quickly administer a come down. I don't look at this as being very complicated. I really don't. Set and setting, there you go. You've got your nice hotel room or whatever they figure out the optimal thing to be. And to be honest with you, I don't know why they're doing any of this indoors in the first place. It should be outdoor to me. If I'm going for psychedelic therapy, I'm going to be like, excuse me, can we just meet up at the woods? I'll build the fire. That's what I do when I take psychedelics. I go on a wood hunt. As things start getting hairy, I need to feed the fire, and then I'm okay. But what do I know, right? So this is super exciting that this is happening now. The medical marijuana thing, for me, it happened a little late. I was already way long over that. I did a 1 month after marijuana became illegal. I went to the dispensary and purchased $15 a gram. I got 2 half-gram pre-rolls, which was like 22 or 26% THC. And that pot is so powerful. I've had it for 2 years, I think. Maybe it's just been 1 year. Hey, Donna? It's at least been 1 year. I think it's 2. And I'm not in any rush to run out and get more. This gram that I bought, I just don't use pot anymore, Now, the idea of a ketamine, to me, from what I read, always sounded like PCP light, like the K-hole. Whenever I got too much PCP in me, it did feel like I was enveloped. And I always had this time dilation where it was like it seemed like a minute seemed like many hours. And I never had, when I did use PCP, my experiences were always horrific. It was terror, like sheer, you've completely lost your mind, you're in hell, and you're going to stay here till the end of time. That's what it was. It was just really horrific. So I don't understand how it can be just like, oh, ketamine cures your depression. If it's anything like PCP. Now, maybe. Hey, do you know when it was that I bought that from the dispensary? Was it 1 year ago or 2 years ago?
Well, maybe it was 1 year, because it was legal. It just became legal.
It was 1 month after it had become legal, I purchased it.
It was before COVID, so it was probably February, I guess, right?
So it was only 1 year.
Yeah, because I think it was just legal in January.
Yeah, it's a gram lasted me a year, and I've still got a 1/4 gram left. Now, the ketamine thing, to me, the only way I can understand this, comprehend it, is ketamine must be PCP light or PCP plus. It must be all of the good of that dissociative buzz without any of the rage, fear, terror, confusion, dementia, all the other horrific side effects that I experience under the influence of PCP. So ketamine must be just great. It must just be a euphoric. If they're talking about curing depression with it, I'm certainly interested. With the situation I'm in and not being able to work and my back injury and living in chronic pain, carries a lot of emotional weight with that. So I would definitely be interested in all of the above. I would like to try the ketamine therapy. I would like to try the psychedelic therapy, and I would certainly like to try the MDMA assisted therapy. Now it's just, is it even an option? Is this something that would be ridiculously expensive? You know, because when I was coming up, it was $3 for psychedelic therapy. It's a good deal. Anyway, you guys, that's happening at Field Trip. There's more than one location. There's not a ton of locations of this place, but it's the first commercial business that's integrating psychedelics into their, and that's all they do. That's all they do. It's just crazy. They've got a trip app. Or you decide, you watch this little cartoon on your phone and decide, oh, that doesn't look like anything too scary. And I gotta think they're going to be very careful. They're not going to be like, oh, he wants ketamine? Turn it up. You know, but I'm sure that's what would happen. If I went for it, I would get the new guy, or they would prank me, like, oh, we connected 4 tanks instead of 1, you know. Anyway, very interesting stuff. I would certainly be first in line if I knew, if there was a guarantee that they wouldn't accidentally give me 4 times as much as they'd ever given anybody else, or I wouldn't die. They would give me so much, because I know that's what would happen to me, and then there would be some huge bill left for my wife to pay. All right, you guys, be careful and enjoy the Super Bowl. Peace.